is fame really? Is it popularity, success, being known by the public, or even just having connections in today's society? I have seen how fame has transformed over the years. With intense research and my own personal experience, I will inform you on the many details of the evolution of fame in America. Fame has changed drastically throughout history. It can be categorized in many ways, three of which we will discuss today. We will talk about how the definition of fame has changed throughout history. We will also discuss how each generation was affected by fame. And we will also talk about how the culture of celebrities in today's society has changed over time. So let's begin with how the evolution of fame has changed throughout history. The real definition of fame has varied throughout history, from the ideas of what it is to how it's interpreted by the public. See, the current definition of fame today, according to Merriam-Webster.com, is public estimation, reputation, or popular acclaim, renown. Throughout history, look at the celebrities of the decades. Each and every one developed their own unique reputation. However, over time, the advancements in technology and press platforms changed how that reputation was built. It has helped many known celebrities' careers be skyrocketed in a matter of hours or days. This compared to the past generations whose careers took more time and potential effort to build up. Stated from HighestNobody.com, in the 1930s, the most control that studios and record labels exerted over their stars meant that they were presented as incomparably glamorous. Now, this piece of information, it shows that the standard of fame and popularity is still grounded in its original state. And it shows how it's still, and how society is still changing its real meaning. Today's culture, however, is changing that at their own pace. The old-fashioned ways are still silently lurking. Through criticism and certain beauty standards that are still set in today's time, through the fame and the famous people and groups today in Hollywood. Now that we have talked about how the definition of fame has changed over time, let's talk about how the different generations were affected by fame. Now, every generation and even decade has had its fair share of cultural influences. However, who are the real influencers? The famous people, of course. And see, the trends of the 80s being a good example. According to 1980sfashion.weebly.com, one huge influence of fashion from the 1980s was the inspiration of movies, TV shows, and celebrities. Now, this example shows how these famous people, celebrities, set the trends that became so well known for the decade. See, different individuals of this time period built their own sense of fashion and trends, and their influence changed the era. Looking into the current situations, however, anyone can see a large difference in style, trends, and public views in just a few decades. The current trends of social media and many internet celebrities is a drastic change from almost every decade of American culture. Along with the difference in trends and style, each generation has contributed to a new level of culture and society, giving the world new political views and almost any new view on any subject. Now that we have talked about the change of the definition of fame over time and how each generation is affected by fame, let's talk about the cultural differences in celebrities over time. See, from the pressure of constantly being in the spotlight, almost all celebrities, young and old, experience some sort of psychological break to cope with the many stresses. For example, 1980s actor and icon Robin Williams committed suicide, and according to sfgate.com, it could have stemmed from the fact that he had struggled with cocaine and alcohol addiction and severe depression. This detail can help infer that some of those things were caused by the stress and pressure built up and formed from his continuously growing fame. During his time of fame, many celebrities turned to alcohol and drug abuse, almost destroying their careers. In today's society, however, many celebrities are now pushed into anxiety, mental, and eating disorders involving that same pressure experienced by past celebrities. For example, stated from bbc.co.uk, Selena Gomez says that social media is a quote-unquote disconnect from the real-life connections to people, and that makes me a little worried. This shows the destruction that even famous people are experiencing just from their own so-called fame, or should we call it pressure. The disconnect can show the true loneliness that many people and celebrities feel, leading to many of the unimaginable disorders and diseases, an unfortunate reality to the fame that is so enjoyable for many. Fame has changed in various ways throughout history. The aspect of fame can be categorized in many ways, 3 of which we discussed today. We talked about how how the definition of fame has changed throughout history. We also discussed how each generation was affected by fame, and we talked about how fame affected the culture of celebrities throughout society. Fame can be portrayed in many different ways, from varying perspectives throughout any time in history, but that is what makes it so interesting to learn about. Thank you for your time.